Hey everyone, how you doing? So, the Chinese PVZ games. Yeah, I have a bit of a history with discussing these, don't I? I mean seriously, my most popular video on YouTube is me talking about Chinese PVZ. So yeah, of course there's a lot I've had on my mind regarding this topic. But out of everything I could discuss, something interesting kind of perplexes me in particular, something that I've never brought up before. So with that being said, here's the thing, and here's some obscure PVZ trivia. Chinese PVZ has a few collaborations, and today we're going to try our very best to discuss all of them that we know of. Now, due to this being about the Chinese games, this could honestly be a disaster if it's not handled with care. So with that in mind, let's quickly set some rules for what I'll discuss in this video. Starting off, I want to let you know now that collabs that don't have anything to do with the games are not being talked about here. That's because PVZ was once the second biggest franchise in China. No way am I going to be able to cover everything, not with our side of the internet having almost no intel on this stuff. But I can at least discuss the games, the ones that aren't mini programs. We also have very little knowledge on the mini programs too, so I'm not confident in discussing them. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's get right into it. We'll start with the earliest collab that I'm aware of, one that's kind of a meme nowadays. Yes, it's Super Chomer. Okay, so this is a weird one. Basically, in the 2011 short-lived Flash game PVZ Social Edition, PopCap collaborated with a milk company, one called Bright Dairy Co. There's almost no affiliation with the product for this plant besides a commercial showing the Chomper variant drinking it and saying that it's good. So why make it a Chomper? Look, whatever, I'm not PopCap. Anyways, with this plant, the Chomper itself was just a better PVZ-1 Chomper, and that's all she wrote. It's a pretty basic collaboration, but that's not the only one in this game. There's actually two more, those being Calmchuck and Future Star. Calmchuck is a plant, I guess? It definitely doesn't look like one, but it basically works like a pumpkin, just cheaper. Of course, it's better than its regular counterpart too. What a shocker. This plant is based off of Chupa Chups, specifically promoting their lollipops apparently. It's neat, but what I believe is arguably much neater is Future Star. This plant is also advertising another milk brand, this one being for a milk company of the same name. Interestingly enough, for this particular brand, this promotion is the only one that appears in more than one game. Yeah, that might shock you. I'm not entirely sure why this is the case, but it's still pretty interesting regardless. And as far as this plant's gimmicks go, it's just starfruit. Okay, now as for the other games, there's not too much more miscellaneous stuff. The big one that people seem to remember the most that isn't from 2C is Jam Hisao, who is a Taiwanese singer and actor who's apparently pretty big. Sorry if I messed up his name. Anyways, he's so big that he apparently appeared in 2 games for PVZ. One for All Stars, which featured him as a boss fight event, and the other as a standalone title promoting the All Stars collab. This is apparently an augmented reality app or something, so it's pretty bare bones. Now, the event itself seemed pretty big back in the day, but it's not really anything to write home about, besides the fact that it happened at all. I mean, that alone is pretty massive, but for the sake of this video, where info gathering is so tedious, Okay, now we're gonna get through 2C's collabs. And surprisingly, there's not that much more. I was asking around the community quite a bit for this, seeing if I could find anything here. But the most I could come up with is 3 collabs, one of which is nearly impossible to find any information on. Let's start with the known ones for simplicity, Subway Surfers and the Yuyao Hemidu Heritage Museum. I am so sorry if I messed that name up. Both of these collabs happened last year, and they each have something unique to bring to the table. Subway Surfers brought along a ton of new stuff, such as a limited time world, new plants, new zombies, and even a new brain buster. The game Subway Surfers also got some costumes. I think. I don't play the game, but that's what I would assume from this trailer. And as for the museum, it brought some new costumes and also brought Plants vs. Zombies stuff to the museum itself, which I think is really cool. Now, as for the other collab that we know of, Pizza Hut. So in 2014, there was a Pizza Hut collab. Apparently. And I don't know if it's just me, but I have absolutely no idea what happened in this collab at all. Like, according to the one screenshot we have on the internet right now, the collab itself was basically just a Menchie's collab that PopCap Vancouver did with that company, where most of the event was in real life. But this is still weird. I just can't find any evidence of this being in 2C itself. So yeah, it's a bit strange. And now we get to the technicalities. These could count, maybe. It really depends on what you view as a collaboration. The first one here is technically Journey to the West's story and such, coming in both Endless and Great Wall Edition. I don't really think it can count, but some people may beg to differ, so to each their own. And as for our other technicality, this one is a bit rough. Actually very rough. So when PopCap was still making moves, they did a Make-A-Wish collaboration with a kid named Miles and his family. They had this whole event go on, where Miles became an honorary member of the PopCap company for a day. They did this whole tour with him, and actually, you can still see this on YouTube if you want to. It's really heartwarming stuff, oh my god. But anyways, there was this plant concept that Miles made, called Rotten Red. This plant is a pomegranate that shoots seeds. Now, I guess PopCap Shanghai really wanted to give Miles' idea some life because they went one step above PopCap's main studio and threw the plant into 2C randomly. This did not last long, as they were not given permission to do so. Because of that, the plant was taken out of 2C almost immediately, and this makes Rotten Red the only officially released plant to later get pulled from PVZ2 in general, even beyond 2C. This story is so insane to me, and I only recently learned about it. I'm still shocked. But in any case, that's where I'll end this video. There wasn't really a whole lot to talk about here, and that's shocking to me for more than one reason. I'm not used to Chinese PVZ lacking anything besides polish, so to see that they've barely done collaborations in the games themselves is super surprising to me. But I could have missed one, and if I did, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always interested in increasing my PVZ knowledge. Also, I'd like to give some real quick shoutouts to Gravitry, Identity for Omens, and Wapfa for being $5 supporters of my channel. Thank you all so much, you rock. Now, as for me, I've got a certain collab that I want to make happen, so I'll see you all on my next video. Peace.